One of the other things that we are seeing also a lot more now, and this is, I guess, part of being an employer of choice, is that more and more people are expecting flexibility in relation to their employment. There is a particular process under the Fair Work Act in terms of who, I guess, has specific rights to ask for flexible work arrangements. And so that's people that, for example, that have caring responsibilities, young children, but also potentially adult parents, elderly parents. But more and more people are just wanting it just because. So if you're getting a request for a flexible work arrangement, the biggest risk, I guess, is you've got to make sure you respond to it and actually properly consider it. But the biggest risk is often in relation to discrimination. So you need to, I guess, really consider what the request is and whether or not it can be accommodated within your particular work arrangements. Just because it's never been done on a flexible basis before ain't a good reason for saying no. You really need to turn your mind to it. And a good way, if it hasn't been done before and you're just not sure if it's going to work or not, an example might be, for example, a job share arrangement or someone going part-time, someone shifting their hours to, for example, start earlier and finish earlier so they can look after the kids in the afternoon or whatever it might be. Put it on trial for a little while. Make sure that the employee knows that it's a trial. You can then assess whether or not it's operationally working for you or not, whether or not there needs to be any tweaks. And if that doesn't work, then you can revert back to what the other arrangements are. It just means that everyone's very clear about what the expectations are. If it is something you can accommodate going forward, again, make sure that that's in writing so everyone's very clear about what the arrangement is. Make sure that you always have a right of review for operational reasons. And one of the examples for that, I guess, is the situation where you might have a situation where you can accommodate one part-time worker in a particular role, but if all of the team decide they want to go part-time, that might just not actually work for everyone. Similar for working at home as well. Again, if you're actually in a village, there's a lot of jobs that you can't actually do remotely, so that's an easy answer. But if it's more an administrative-based job, so for example, a bookkeeping type role, I think COVID has shown us that technology is now at the point where really quite a lot of work can be done from home. So it's very hard to say no on that basis, just because that's always what's happened. But it is a relevant consideration to think about, okay, well, what's that going to mean for co-workers? If they're not in the office, does that mean that someone else is going to have to pick up particular tasks that might otherwise be undertaken? That is a legitimate consideration and something you should be looking at.